Mayor Maddox, Governor Ivey's campaign put out a press release questioning your stance on the Second Amendment. I think she mentioned some particular ordinances or executive order you'd put out in Tuscaloosa. Can you explain where you stand on the Second Amendment and what those were about?
I've been a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, and I believe my 13 years in Tuscaloosa proves that. Unfortunately, Kay Ivey's campaign, and I assume Kay Ivey herself, are hypocrites. Because I know that if I go to the governor's office today, I doubt they're going to let me bring in a sidearm. And I'm pretty certain that at some point I'm going to have to go through metal detectors as well. So for the governor to criticize the city of Tuscaloosa's effort to make City Hall safe, it's just being hypocritical because she herself requires the very same policy.
You know, she said that in 2006, you banned employees from carrying a gun to work. Is there more context to that, or?
Well, I will ask you, how many employees in the governor's office are allowed to carry their firearm into work?
Now, she's also, we've asked her about your debate proposal. She says the only two people that care are us in the media and her opponent, referring to you. She talked about your support for the Supreme Court nominee. What do you say to that?
Well, I think it's the height of arrogance when you refuse to come before the people to pay your salary. In 2017, when I was running for re-election as mayor for my fourth term, and by all standards, and we won that election with 89%, I participated in every debate, every single forum, because it's the right thing to do, because I realize I work for the people of Tuscaloosa and they pay my salary. Governor Ivey doesn't owe me a debate. She is exactly right about that. She does owe the people of Alabama. She owes the people in Jacksonville, whose hospital is closed. She owes them a debate. She owes the people in Alex City, who's seeing their hospital now on the precipice of closing. She owes them a debate. She owes the children at R.C. Hatch School who literally walk through sewage to go to school. She owes them a debate. She owes the people stuck on I-565 a debate. And she owes the people of Alabama a debate on all these issues that are impacting them. So the last time we had a governor display such arrogance was just 4 years ago, when Governor Bentley refused to debate. And within weeks of him winning re-election, he had proposed nearly $1 billion worth of new taxes, and within months was embroiled in one of the worst scandals in Alabama's history. I think saying no debate is not a very good path forward for Governor Ivey, and I certainly hope she will rethink that, and I hope the people around her will let her debate.
How successful, a lot of Democrats that are running for state office in Alabama and around the country are turning to kitchen table ideas and not what they call divisive ideas and rhetoric. You know, how successful has that been, and is that the path that you plan to take?
See, here's the thing, you nailed it. The most important thing we can do as candidates are talk about the issues that matter. No one tonight in Alex City is going to be debating the nuances of the Second Amendment. What they are going to be worried about, though, is their health care provider going to be there in the morning? What happens if my child gets appendicitis? Where do I go for my dialysis treatment? That's what they're going to be worried about. There's only one candidate that's willing to talk about how we solve this problem. There are families tonight that are thinking, how are we going to afford the cost of college? How am I going to pay tuition? They're not worried about debating whether whether the United States Senate should take 2 weeks or 2 months debating the nomination of Judge Kavanaugh. If I were Governor Ivey, I wouldn't want to talk about the issues. I would try to create divides and distractions and fear, because quite frankly, if you had to run on the problems facing the average Alabamians, you're not on the right side of history. And what Governor Ivey and the people around her that run state government, what they don't understand, that this election is not about parties. It's not about left versus right. It's about right versus wrong. And they're on the wrong side of history. We're on the right side of history because we're talking about solving problems. I don't give a damn about Republicans or Democrats. I wake up every morning trying to solve problems. That's what the people of Alabama want. And I think that's why I debate. That's why you hear people talking about it everywhere you go. Because people do want to know, how are you going to solve the problems that I face every single day?
You know, school is just around the corner. Actually, already started for some districts. School safety is something that's definitely on a parent's mind. You know, with the Century program, that is something that is happening. What are your thoughts on it that would allow administrators to have guns available?
It is probably one of the most idiotic recommendations that I've seen in a long time. To think that the New York Police Department, under fire, which is the best trained police department in the United States, has an accuracy rate of less than 18%. To think somehow that we're going to provide guns to selected people with no tactical training to somehow improve safety is nothing but rhetoric at its best. It doesn't improve school safety. It may help you in polling, but it doesn't help protect our children. Now, I take this very personally. I have 2 children in our public schools, and I would never want an untrained person with a gun in our vicinity trying to protect school safety. Let me tell you what improves school safety. It's closing the loopholes between Alabama Department of Mental Health and AL.. It also, when you can provide wraparound services to our children with mental health needs, it's hardening our schools. It's placing well-trained, certified law enforcement in each one of our buildings. That's how we improve safety in schools. What the governor's proposing, that's nothing but rhetoric at its finest. It's not going to make our schools safer. And here's the sad part. I believe the people around her know that.
A lot of schools don't have the money to put school resources officers around or trained professionals there. How would you suggest putting those officers?
As part of our lottery proposal, we recommend using a portion of that to help pay for certified law enforcement officers in the schools that cannot afford it.